Hello, welcome to an e-demo on event configuration on the Illustra Pro 5MP Fisheye camera. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just open up a web browser. I've navigated to the IP address of this camera and I'm just going to log in using an admin account. Once I've logged in, I'm going to choose Setup and then I'm going to choose Events from the menu on the left hand side. Okay, so the first submenu under Events is called Fault Settings, and it's in the Fault Settings menu where we can configure our SMTP server, our FTP server, and a CIFS file location. The SMTP server is the server which will be used to send email from this camera. You can see we have a number of fields to fill in there. We also have this checkbox at the bottom which is going to be required if you need authentication to log on to your server. So you can enter a username and password in there. Okay, so if I just select the FTP tab, you'll see in here we have the ability to set an FTP server. That FTP server will be used to send video to whenever a motion alarm occurs if we have configured it. So you can see first of all we have the enable FTP. We also have the ability to set a secure server. We can then enter all of the server details. We can set file transfer rates, and once we have all of that entered, we can also test the connection using this test button at the bottom here. And the final tab in Fault Settings is called CIFS. This will allow us to add a network file location using CIFS format, and we can use that to send video to as well. Okay, so I'm just going to move over then to the submenu Fault Actions, and you'll see in here we have the ability to create 5 fault actions. These are actions which will be triggered on a motion detection alert from the camera. You can see to configure it, all I need to do is give it a name, and then I need to choose what happens as a result of that action. So is it going to record video to the SD card? It's going to send an email using that SMTP server which we configured before. Is it going to send the video using FTP or CIFS? Okay, so let's move over then to the motion detection submenu, and this is where we can configure the motion detection alert itself. So the first thing we need to do is enable motion detection, and then we need to choose the image source for that motion detection alarm. So is it going to be the fisheye or is it going to be a ceiling panorama? Once we've done that, we can then configure the region by choosing that edit button. I'm just going to confirm, and then I can just use the drawing tools to draw a region on the camera scene over on the right hand side there. I can set the sensitivity of that motion alarm, and then finally I need to choose an action from one of the 5 fault actions which we have configured. Okay, so with that applied, the final thing I can do in the events menu is schedule tasks. Scheduled tasks allow us to configure something to happen on the camera on a regular schedule. To create a task, I'm going to go over to the Add Task tab. You can see the first thing I need to do is give my task a name. Then what I'm going to do is set a start time for the task, and then I'm going to just set the frequency of the task. So do I want it to occur every day, only on weekdays, or select specific days of the month when the task is going to occur. The next section down allows me to assign the image source for this task. That's going to be one of our active image streams. And then finally, I need to set the action of the task. So do I want it to go to a preset, go to a pattern, or a sequence? And you'll see for each of those I have the action parameter drop down appear below, and that will allow me to select one of my pre-configured presets, patterns, or sequences. And if I want to do a scan, you'll see that I have the ability to set smooth, stepped, or random. Once I have that configured, I can choose apply, and you'll see we go back into the scheduled tasks tab, and there is our task. I can edit it by choosing that edit icon, and I can remove it by selecting the checkbox and then choosing delete and confirming.